While I was living in Boston before rabbinical school, my roommate Sarah and I decided to go on a favorite hike of ours, Monument Mountain in the Berkshires. We drove the 2 hours from Boston to Great Barrington, parked the car at the bottom of the mountain, and began our ascent. It was the fall, so the ground was covered with red and orange leaves, which we kicked as we hiked along. It took us over an hour to reach the top, and when we did, we were rewarded with a gorgeous view as always. We sat there for a few minutes and then began our descent. As we reached the bottom of the mountain, I stuck my hand into my vest pocket, searching for the car key, and I stopped in my tracks. Nervous to say it out loud, I turned toward Sarah and said, I don't have the car key. Now it was Sarah's turn to be surprised. What do you mean you don't have the car key? It was in my pocket and now it's not. I said, what do we do? The sky was getting darker. We could barely see the leaves under our feet. We would have to go all the way back to the top and retrace our steps. Then Sarah said, let's just walk to the car and see if the key is inside. Maybe you left it in there, and since it has a sensor, the doors will be open and we'll be fine. When we reached the parking lot, my little car was all alone. As we got closer, I saw, stuck under one of the windshield wipers, a white envelope. I picked it up and saw a note written on the outside. It read, "We found this key on the trail and figured out it belonged to this car. Have a great day." I opened the envelope, and there was the key. In addition to the fact that I almost lost Sarah as a friend in this moment, I've thought about it quite a bit since. I didn't get to and never will get to meet the person who saved the day. And I have no idea why they chose to do that kind thing. Perhaps they were trying to set a good example for their child, or maybe they were taught that this is what you do for other people, whether you know them or not. Maybe they have not again thought about this moment, or maybe they walked away feeling really good about themselves having done such a good deed. Why we do good things for other people is a question that fascinates me. And it's something that came up in my life again as I was doing my normal rewatch of my favorite TV show, Friends. In season 5, Joey believes he's been hired to host the PBS telethon. Phoebe insists that this is just selfishness that's masquerading as a good deed. Joey claims that all good deeds are selfish, and so Phoebe sets out to prove him wrong. She tries to find an unselfish good deed, something good to do for others that doesn't bring her any joy. Everything she tries backfires in some kind of way. She tries to rake someone's lawn without them knowing, but they see her and invite her in for cookies. She lets a bee sting her, she says, so the bee can look tough in front of its bee friends. But Joey informs her that the bee actually dies after stinging her. And this back and forth goes on and on. The theory behind Joey's insistence that good deeds are inherently selfless leads to a lot of funny moments in this episode, but it's also based on a serious concept: altruism. The Greater Good Science Center at the University of California in Berkeley defines altruism as when we act to promote someone else's welfare, sometimes at a risk or cost to ourselves. On its face, altruism can be a good thing and has been considered such in our society. When we do good for others, we want our motivation to come from a place of care and concern for the other, not doing good only for our own benefit, to make ourselves look good to others. The debate between Joey and Phoebe has taken place quite a bit in the real world, but today, Rather than engage in the discussion of whether altruism is actually possible or not, I would like to suggest that altruism isn't actually the goal for which we should be striving. If we look back at that storyline from Friends, it teaches us that finding good deeds that are without reward is close to impossible. Phoebe tries and fails to find something to do that's good for others that doesn't also make her feel good in some way. We often feel good when we help others, and it doesn't take away from that good deed if we, the givers, take pleasure out of it. The joy we get from doing something good is actually a good thing, a positive thing. It motivates us to continue to do this important work of giving to others in a way that's meaningful to us. In fact, we are even more effective at this work when we feel invested and derive joy from it. A few years ago, while in rabbinical school, I was feeling like this giving was something that I was missing in my life. I was going to school, I was doing my internship, I was spending time with family and friends. I was busy, but not completely fulfilled. A friend told me about her work volunteering for an organization that provides escorts home for women after their abortions. Legally, you're not allowed to leave this procedure on your own, and many women either can't tell anyone about it or they don't have someone in their life who can take off work to take them home. As soon as I heard about it, I knew this was the piece that was missing. I began to volunteer just 2 afternoons a week, escorting women home from their abortions. Every interaction I had, no matter how brief, left me feeling fulfilled and like I had done something good to work toward a cause I feel strongly about. When I give this way, I bring my heart with me. It is a selfish good deed, and that's okay. And I can then bring what I've learned and gained to others. One of our ancient esteemed teachers in the Jewish tradition, Maimonides, created a hierarchy of tzedakah, of giving righteously, that shows us all of the different factors we should consider when giving to others. While Maimonides makes it clear that any and all giving is good, there are certain ways that we can give that are better than others. One of the main factors in Maimonides' hierarchy is willingness to give. He emphasizes that it is better to give willingly, giving even with excitement, rather than to give begrudgingly. This value can be traced back to the Torah, specifically in Exodus during the building of the tabernacle. The Israelites are receiving instructions about what they are meant to contribute to this communal space. We read, Kol nadiv libo, yivieha et trumat Adonai, which translates to, whoever has a willing heart, let them bring it, a gift to God. Rabbi Simcha Zissel, one of the early leaders of the Musar movement, suggests that it is not only the object that each person is supposed to bring, but one's heart as well. Commentators teach us that in biblical antiquity, people believed the heart to be the identity or essence of a person. Therefore, when we give such a gift, a truma, a gift with a willing heart, we are meant to give it from our core, our essence. Alan Marinis, founder of the Musar Institute, expands on this. He writes, generosity of this sort comes neither from obligation nor rational thought, nor guilt, but out of an irresistible feeling that stirs from deep within. Today, this generosity isn't in the form of decorations for the tabernacle, but the gifts we bring to our communities, contributing some of ourselves for the benefit of the greater good. The structure of Hillel is a great example of this. Hillel is largely a student-run organization. While I and other staff members are here to help, guide, facilitate, all of the gifts that each of you bring and contribute and volunteer This is what creates this community. When each person gives a truma, a gift with a willing heart, we not only make the world a little better, but we create a community of givers. Rabbi Jill Hammer, the director of spiritual education at the Academy for Jewish Religion, writes, "Unlike Sinai, when the role of the people is to receive, here the role of the people is to give, and for each to give a unique and personal gift. The design Moses has received cannot live except through the hands of the givers, workers, and artists who join together to weave, shape, build, and forge all the necessary pieces of the Mishkan puzzle. When the Mishkan is built, it holds something of each person in it." From this, we can learn that the Mishkan can be a model for our community and our world. We can build our world through unique and personal gifts. So, why is this message important now? What makes this something important to think about on Rosh Hashanah? Every year, we go through the process of cheshbon hanefesh, the accounting of our souls. Cheshbon is the same word in modern Hebrew for a check at a restaurant. It's a literal looking at the receipt of what is on our conscience, on our soul from the last year, both good and bad. Jewish tradition teaches that between Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur, we are supposed to review the things we've done in the last year and make any apologies to people we've hurt. Then on Yom Kippur, we atone for the things we've done wrong so we can start off the new year with a clean slate, learning from our mistakes of the previous year. When we do this work, when we think about who we've been in the past year and who we want to be in the year to come, altruism, the kind of selfless giving that Joey talks about, isn't a good goal. We can't give entirely selflessly, so it's just not achievable, even if society wants us to think that it is. But truma, the giving of our gifts wholeheartedly, is a wonderful goal and will make our communities and societies better. In this new year, as we figure out the kind of people we want to be, may we strive to give with a willing heart. And may we listen not to Joey, but to Phoebe. Unselfish good deeds are not the goal here. We are at our best when we give in a passionate way that benefits us and our communities too. This year, I challenge all of you to find something that makes you feel good and to do more of it. Bring your hearts to the communities you're a part of and relish in that good feeling of giving. Shana Tova.